everyone, I hope you are absolutely well. So, this is the 18th part of the series of practicing PIQ. Myself, Pyq Sarkar, and as you know me, that I am doing this series of practicing PIQ, and this is December 2011 English paper. So I had already completed 25 question and this is the 26th. I am going to start with 26. So our first question for today, which of the following book is by Margaret Atwood? So it will be Edible Women. As you know that she wrote many dystopian novels like The Handmaid's Tales and others, and she is a Nobel laureate also. So let's see the explanation. Stone Angel is by Margaret Lawrence and it was published in 1964. Then No Fixed Address, it was published in 1998. It was by Aretha Van Herk. Then Edible Women, it was published in 1969. Please note down the publication date also. You should link it with other publications date so that in exam you can mark the right. Then it was by Margaret Atwood and half read by Maria Campbell. Okay, and it was published in 1973. Then our next question, the expression murderous innocence is an, so it is an example of oxymoron. What is oxymoron? Oxymoron is a figure of speech in which apparently contradictory terms appears in conjunction, like faith unfaithful kept himself falsely true. So when the two contradictory things is placing together, it is called oxymoron. Like a murderous person, how can he or she be innocent? Like, so here it is said that murderous innocence. So it is an example of oxymoron. Then our next question is a assertion reasoning question. Othello killed Desdemona. Yes, it is true. But because Desdemona committed infidelity? No. Othello killed Desdemona because he believed that Desdemona is unfaithful to him with Cassio. But it was not, right? Then the Enlightenment believed in the universal authority of, so the Enlightenment believed the universal authority of reason. It is also called the age of reason and sensibility. So the age of Enlightenment, sometimes called the age of reason, advocating reason as a means of establishing an authoritative system. Then our next question, which of the following works by John Milton is an elegy? So Lycidas is an elegy. So Lycidas is a poem by John Milton written in 1637 and it is a pastoral elegy and it first appeared in 1638. So you should write on the comment box that for whom it was written. It was written for someone's death, right? So for whom it was written, you should write in the comment section. Then our next question, question number 31. Which of the following poem by John Keats uses the Spenserian stanza? And the answer will be Eve of Saint Agnes. Eve of Saint Agnes is a beautiful poem. You should read it. So the Eve of Saint Agnes is a poem of 42 stanzas by John Keats written in 1819, published in 1820. The poem is in Spenserian stanza. Then our next question, which you have to match the following. So Oliver Goldsmith with She Stoops to Conquer and also the Vicar of Wakefield, Vanity of Human Wishes by Samuel Johnson and Beggar's Opera by John Gay. Richard Sheridan wrote School for Scandal. Okay, so let's see the answer. The Vanity of Human Wishes, it was published in 1749 by Samuel Johnson. So all of these texts are very much important and you should know the detailed summary of this text. Okay, so the Vanity of Human Wishes, it was published in 1749 by Samuel Johnson. The Vicar of Wakefield, it was published in 1766 by Oliver Goldsmith. She Stoops to Conquer, it was by Oliver Goldsmith. 1773. The Beggar's Opera by John Gay, it was published in 1728. So you should try to remember this publication date, because they can ask you the chronological order also. And Richard Sheridan, as you know, that he wrote School for Scandal. Then the term egotistical sublime. So it was coined by John Keats. In one of my video where I talked about the terms and their propounders, I talked about and discussed about this egotistical sublime term. So it was coined by John Keats, and it was a criticism for William Wordsworth, because William Wordsworth thinks that a poem is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling, but John Keats tried to say that the phrase was first used by Keats in a letter to Richard Woodhouse dated 27 October 1818, saying that a poet has no self. So John Keats tried to say like negative capability, that he said that a poet don't have any self, as T.S. Eliot said later, right? So here he tried to criticize that William Wordsworth have the egotistical sublime. He thinks that his feelings, his emotions, he should write in poem. So because he said that a poem is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, but Keats says that you should detach yourself from your creation, because a poet has no self, as he believed. And the negative capability also by John Keats. Then put the following novels of George Eliot in chronological order. So first will be Romola, and it was published in 1862. Felix Holt the Radical, it was 1866. Middlemarch 1871, and Daniel Derona 1876. Okay. Then our next question: who among the following writers is known for his unforgettable sense of humor and comedy? So if they say that for their sense of humor and comedy, you should write down the John Galsworthy. So John Galsworthy was also a Nobel laureate, and he was born in 1867 to 1933. So he was very important, because most of the PGT question, there are many works were given, by John Galsworthy, like Justice and others. So he was an English novelist, playwright. Notable works like the Forsyte Saga, and it is a sequel, and a modern comedy, End of Chapter. He won Nobel Prize in 1932. So he is a Nobel laureate, and you should remember the date, the year of when he won the Nobel Prize. And his writings are very much important, and there also you should know their detailed summary. So which of the following is an apocalyptic novel? So apocalyptic novel will be V.S. Naipaul, A House for Mr. বিশ্বাস. Then Dr. Doris Lessing's The Four-Gated City, it was published in 1969, a dystopian novel. So it was a dystopian novel, is the last of her 5-volume series. The Children of Violence began in 1952. L.P. Hartley's Facial Justice 1960 depicts a dystopian, most apocalyptic society seeking to banish an envy. Okay, sorry, I read this question wrong. It is said that which is not an apocalyptic novel. So that's why I thought that what is happening. Then The Wanting Seed is a dystopian novel by English author Anthony Burgess, and written in 1962. Whereas V.S. Naipaul, A House of Mr. বিশ্বাস, looks at life the post-colonial world through Mohan বিশ্বাস. So it is not a dystopian or apocalyptic novel. Okay, it was my bad. Then, let sea discovers to new worlds have gone. Let maps to others, worlds on worlds have shown. Let us possess one world, each hath one and is one. So, this line from John Donne from Good Morrow. The Good Morrow is published in John Donne's 1633 collection Songs and Sonnets. The above lines have taken from this poem. Let sea discovers to new worlds have gone. Let map to other worlds on worlds have shown. Let us possess one world, each hath one and is one. So it was from Good Morrow by John Donne. Then in the summer of 1712, the Spectator published a series of essays on the pleasure of imagination, and it was written by Joseph Addison. Pleasures of Imagination, first published by in Spectator series in 1712 and was written by Joseph Addison, and it was in our syllabus, and it was very easy to read and you can read it, and it was very much humorous. You can enjoy it through your reading. Then, assertional reasoning question. Gulliver Travels earned Jonathan Swift the bad name of being misanthrope. Swift in the novel was neutral to the image of man. So answer will be B, because both are right but is not correct explanation. Gulliver's Travels examine human nature through a misanthrope, and through satires examines the changes English society was undergoing. So it was said that Swift in the novel was neutral to image of man. So it was not the true explanation of the assertion. Okay, and he was also accused as a misogynist, because most of his writing, there are some criticism about women. Then, who among the following does not belong to great tradition enunciated by F.R. Lewis? And the answer will be James Joyce, and this question was mostly asked. Then, James Joyce, he was an Irish novelist, poet, and he contributed to the modernist avant-garde regarded as one of the most influential and important authors of the 20th century. He does not belong to Levy's great tradition. The others are like Joseph Conrad, Jane Austen, and George Eliot are the they are they belong to great tradition. Okay. Then our next question. Isaac Bevis Singer is an American Jewish writer. Isaac Bevis Singer was a Polish-born Jewish author in Yiddish, awarded the Nobel Prize in 1978. Okay. Then our next question. Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot has 2 acts. So this is a easy question. Anybody who know this play should know that it is in 2 acts. So nowadays they are not giving this simple question. They will give the deep down question. Okay. So, Waiting for Godot premiered in 1953 is an absurd play written by Samuel Beckett. Then, James Joyce's Exiles is a play. Exiles is a play by James Joyce. It draws on the story of the death The final story in Joy's story collection Dubliners. The play was published in 1918. Then, it was a bright cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. In the opening sentence of, it was in the opening sentence of 1984. It was a bright cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. So, as you know that it is a dystopian novel. So, often published in 1984 is a dystopian novel by George Orwell, published in 1949. The subtitle of William Golding's Cabell William is, it is a things as they are. So the subtitle of William Golding's Caleb William is, it is things as they are. Things as they are, or Adventures of Caleb Williams by William Golding is a 3-volume novel published in 1794. Then, who among the following belongs to the group of radical feminists? And the answer will be Helen Kiksu. Helen Kiksu, she is an important feminist and she belongs to the radical feminists. So, she was born in 1937, is a professor, Algerian French feminist, writer and literary critic. She founded the first Center of Feminist Studies at the European University of Paris. She is best known for her article The Laugh of Medusa, which established her as one of the pioneers of the post-structuralist feminist theory. Okay, so she belongs to radical feminist. Then, question number 47. On the Knocking of the Gate in Macbeth is a long essay. So, it is a long essay by Thomas de Quincey. On the Knocking Gate of in Macbeth is an essay in Shakespearean criticism, first published in 1823, and it was written by Thomas de Quincey. So, it is taken from it took the reference from Shakespeare, the act where the porter opened the door, and it was a criticism of Shakespeare. Then our next question, the expression dreaming house is an example of, it is an example of transferred epithet. A transferred epithet is a figure of speech in which an epithet grammatically qualifies a noun other than the person or thing. It is actually describing, also known in rhetoric as hypallage. So it is also known as hypallage, and it is it is a figure of speech which grammatically qualifies a noun other than person or thing, like dreaming house. So a house cannot dream, right? Then the term practical criticism coined by, it was coined by I.A. Richards. I.A. Richards was an English educator, literary critic, whose work contributed to the foundation of new criticism. He wrote the book Principle of Literary Criticism, in which he coined the above phrase. Then our last question for today, which is Victor Slavovsky's name is associated with, it associated with Russian formalism. So I made many videos about Russian formalism. You can watch it if you have time. So Victor Slavovsky belonged to Russian formalism. Russian formalism, it was from 1910 to 1930, was an influential school of literary criticism in Russia. Russian formalism exerted a major influence on thinkers like Mikhail Bakhtin and on structuralism as a whole. Slavovsky was a Russian formalist best known for the concept of defamiliarization or estrangement in literature. His work pushes Russian formalism towards understanding literary activity and an integral part of social practice. So, as you know that Russian formalists, they believed in form and structure. So they believe that they don't believe in the historical or biographical background of a text. You should only focus on the structure. You should focus on the close reading. Close reading, though propounded by the new critics theories, but they believe in the to focus on the structure or form. So here by Victor Slavosky, he propounded the term defamiliarization. Mean he trying to say that in a simple, if you see a plot, a story, and you made it a, a plot, right? If you going somewhere and you see an event, the writer, what he did, he will defamiliarize the event with his speech, with his figure of speech, with the structure, with the form, and make it new, make it strange to us. So this term is given by Victor Slavosky. You can watch the video for more clarification. So thank you for giving your time.